Stay up on the latest this hurricane season. Please subscribe for future updates. Welcome back, everybody, to the Weather Nerds YouTube channel. I'm your host, meteorologist Greg Majeski, your personal weatherman, here with an update on Debbie and also a tropical outlook as we're starting to head deeper and deeper into the hurricane season. And if you'd like to have these reports on a regular basis, all you got to do is please subscribe to the channel and please give me a thumbs up and let me know what you think about this report. All right, we're finally getting Debbie to move inland, and it's going to be spreading some more heavy rains for the interior sections of the Carolinas and going up Virginia. And we got another area of disturbed weather we're going to watch very closely here in the coming days as we head deeper into the month of August. So let's go ahead and get into it. We got a lot to talk about as we're looking at right now here this morning as the system center circulation is now moved inland here pretty close to the Florence area, but you're seeing these outer bands kind of sweeping into the north. We've had a few tornado warnings for some weak spin-ups here on the periphery here through areas of North Carolina, and that'll continue for the day as you've seen the heavier rains here spreading back across towards Charlotte as well, making for a pretty nasty start to the day, to say the least, for that area. Taking a live look here at Riceville Beach, still looking at some rough surf and some gusty winds there along the Carolina coast. As you can see, the splashes of the waves coming on in, but things should begin to settle down along the coastal regions here as we go for the next several days. Here's your morning satellite imagery. Here's our swirl right here with our tropical storm Debbie. It's going to continue to move inland here. A lot of moisture here across Virginia, going up toward Pennsylvania. And whenever you get tropical moisture, it's pretty light, pretty buoyant. You have some daytime heating here, and so the rain field here will kind of expand and fire up here with the daytime heating here for this afternoon. As a trough is coming in from the west, it's going to pick this up and shove it right up into Canada here over the next couple of days and should be accelerating in the days to come. Here is the latest from the National Weather Service as of the 8 o'clock advisory, sitting at 34.1 north, 79.9 west. Now moving to the northwest at 7 miles per hour, finally getting some movement there. As you can see, the track is going to take it northward here into Virginia and then accelerate up to the north and east. So that's some good news for the folks up here in, say, New York State and Pennsylvania, where they're going to get some heavy rains, but not nearly as much as down here because this is moving so slowly through portions of North Carolina here for today. Here are the rainfall amount totals again, 4 to 6 inches, not out of the question here, and all this yellow area in here. You get maybe some higher amounts into the Appalachians, and the reason for that is you get that tropical moisture to kind of bump into those mountains. It kind of gives you what you call orographic lift, a little additional lift here, and it'll squeeze it out, maybe slightly higher amounts in there, possibly getting over into the 6 to 8 inch range. But as this moves northward and accelerates, the rainfall amounts not quite as high up here into New York State, but some isolated flooding, it won't be out of the question as the system moves up toward the north and eventually up toward the north and east. All right, obviously we do have that severe weather component here, this slight risk that you see in here. We're already seeing a few tornado warnings again for today. This also, that slight risk will be running about a 5% chance of seeing some tornadoes as well. They'll be isolated, short-lived with typical tropical systems, especially since we're talking about a weak tropical storm and not so much talking about a landfalling hurricane at this point. But that'll be the possibility here through this morning and into this afternoon as well. The big concern, obviously, is going to be the amount of flooding conditions here. We got the flash flood watches here staying from South Carolina going all the way up into Pennsylvania. There we get seeing the tropical storm force winds here across portions of South Carolina and North Carolina. And, of course, we do have the tornado watch box that's in effect here for isolated tornadoes as this system continues to press deeper inland. So pretty busy day ahead as that heavy rain shield moves up toward the north and we start to say goodbye to this system. Let's go ahead and take a look at the latest here on the high resolution model data here as we're going to track this system as it continues to move up toward the north and eventually out of the country. So watch your timestamp there in the upper right hand corner as we'll go ahead and watch this system again spreading through the Carolinas throughout the day on your Thursday. And then as we go into Friday, starts to move quicker off toward the north. You see the heavier rains there getting into areas of Virginia and getting up toward Maryland as we head into Friday morning. So some very heavy rains here, probably coming into the Washington, D.C. Metroplex area here, getting pretty close to D.C. and getting into West Virginia. So some pretty heavy rains here across Northern Virginia as the system moves into that area on your Friday morning. As it continues to move forward, you're going to notice it's going to start to accelerate here and it'll start going into Pennsylvania. Could not rule out some flight delays, to say the least, throughout the day on Friday, against maybe getting into Philadelphia and getting into areas up towards, say, Albany, New York. Looking at some pretty heavy rains here for this afternoon. Again, possibility of some severe weather. Couldn't rule this out across areas of the upstate New York and over toward, say, getting just the east of Buffalo there with some heavy rains. You see the rains kind of trailing off with some thunderstorms here along the Carolina coast, as well as the system continues to move off toward the north and eventually just getting on out of here and clears on out of here as we go into Saturday. So really not looking too bad there as we go into your Saturday morning. So things will begin to clear on out. Let's go ahead and take a look real quickly here at the precipitation totals as well. I'll go ahead and switch over to this. Again, you're looking at the duration here, some very heavy rainfall amounts, some isolated pockets. There's a 6.5-inch rain there. And again, there's anything in this red shield in here as you're looking at possibility of 3 inches plus on a very large swath here going from North Carolina, Virginia, stretching up to Maryland, Pennsylvania, and eventually getting to New York State. So in that swath, right through there is where the heaviest rains will be as that center moves up toward the north and off toward the east. So it's going to finally get it out of here, and that'll be some good news there. And folks get a chance to at least dry out here for the time being. All right, but that's not the only thing that we're going to be watching, folks, is we've got some other systems we're going to be watching here in the days ahead because we've got more activity to watch out into the Atlantic. And the intertropical convergence zone starting to get a little more fired up. But the one thing I want to point out here, check out this brown hue. This is Saharan dust. It's been the really thing that's been inhibiting tropical activity out in the Atlantic. And in fact, the Colorado State has actually reduced its number from 25 down to 23, predominantly because of the influence and the impact of the tropicals, the tropics because of the Saharan dust that's out here. We got this one decent wave out here that the models are kind of locking in on. But what I want you to pay attention when I show you the model data here is it really doesn't develop until it gets over here and gets away from the Saharan dust. As long as this stuff's hanging out here, it's going to act as kryptonite to any development out here in the Atlantic. I did a special on Saharan dust before the start of the season. I called it the wild card, and it's definitely been the wild card so far here for today for the amount of dust that's been out here. So we're going to go ahead and focus in on this system here and see how it's going to translate. So let's go ahead and look at the latest European model data here, and we're going to track this one here across the Atlantic and see how it's going to develop as we go into, say, the next 7 to 8 days. But for the most part, it stays pretty quiet. But looking quiet as you see the whatever is left of Debbie moving in through the northeast and starts to clear on out. But we don't see anything else coming in for this upcoming weekend. Looks pretty quiet going into early next week. Then we see a pretty decent wave there finally coming in through ports of the Lesser Antilles. So we're focusing in on this area right in here as this system right here. Here's your high pressure system. This is your Bermuda High here, and it's driving it this way. There's a bit of a trough here as well. So what this trough's going to do is going to pick this up and bring it northward. And then we'll start to see development. Again, you got that Saharan dust out there that's inhibiting development. But once it gets far enough away, we start to see things begin to develop. Look as we head toward Thursday morning there at 8 o'clock, starting to see the first signs of a possible tropical depression forming. Again, you got this weakness in here that's drawing this up toward the north. It's just a question of timing. It's going to be a question of timing on when this thing develops and how quickly does that trough come in. Does it curve it back out to sea? Or does this thing come in closer to the North Carolina Outer Banks or not? So this is on 8 o'clock on Saturday. Looks like we got a pretty good hurricane in here. But again, this is still some 8 days away. So we're talking about the 17th. So today's the 8th. So we've got 9 days away here for this to develop, coming all the way across, and then something coming and getting developed here. Now, this is still going to obviously subject to change because that far out. But looks like we should get Ernesto heading in toward the following weekend. Not this weekend, but the following weekend, we'll have Ernesto to work out as we're getting deeper into the hurricane season. Keep in mind, the peak of the hurricane season is September 10th. So this is one we'll be watching as we head for the next 7 to 10 days. So again, we're just getting into the meat of the hurricane season. We got plenty to watch. Obviously, we got to get rid of Debbie here first as it's finally moving on out. And then we'll deal with Ernesto, looks likely, as we head toward the following weekend. Again, hey, if you enjoyed this report, again, please do me a favor. Please subscribe and give me a thumbs up. I do appreciate the support here on the channel. If you got any questions, as always, please don't hesitate to post them down below. All right, that's the latest for now. You guys take it easy, be good, stay safe, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.